How to program for MMA fighters. Let's have a look. Team, I'm gonna start off with a disclaimer. MMA, wrestling, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, whatever. You have to understand that each of these sports are very, very unique in how they work. So if you're in the sport, you understand that there's a big difference between striking and grappling. There's a big difference between stand-up grappling and on the floor grappling. You understand there's a big difference between lower limb striking and hand striking. You know, because ideally, if you want to coach these systems, you are in the sport. So keep that in mind, that there is no one-size-fits-all program for MMA fighters, and I use that as a general encompassing term because every single sport is different, every single person is different. However, the general principles apply to all of them. But I want to get into how to program it specifically. So if you're a coach and you're looking to specialize in the niche of being a MMA trainer, this is what I would be thinking about from the strength and health point of view, using personal training and exercise physiology to build this program. And I only need you to worry about 4 things, and they are this. In our year, we have 4 seasons. We have our off season, we have our pre-season, we have our on season, and we have our recovery season. And we use this religiously in sports. So most pro sporting teams build their year around these principles. So what they do is they find out when is the most important comp or event of the year. So in football, it might be the season of the game, the part of the year, the 2 to 3 months where they're playing against other teams. In the Olympics, it is the 4 years or 8 years from now when they are competing. If it's cyclists, they will have an event that's coming up sometime in their year. For us as jiu-jitsu fighters, as MMA fighters, we have usually a time where there are more competition than others, but we struggle with the fact that there are times that you can fight all year long if you want to, but the pros don't do that. They have fights after camps and after time off the sport. So we take the exact same attitude when we're training people within the martial arts. So what I want you to think about is this. Your off season is when we develop new skills. So if you've got a competition jiu-jitsu fighter, I would be looking at where are they the weakest and what skills is my team working on that we're going to take directly to competition. So for example, if my team doesn't have a good takedown to pass to back attack series, I may look at doing that. If my team doesn't have a good leg lock series or that's something we want to work on, this off season is where we develop those skills. And we do light drilling and we do it over and over and over again. Playful, lovely, easy. Because when we're trying to learn new skills, it's just like tying a shoelace. Eventually it becomes second nature, but at the minute, when you're first learning stuff, it's gonna feel clunky. So you have to have that space to be able to do lots and lots of reps and to practice. In the strength and conditioning space, this is where we're working on areas that are also not very strong. So if my group are not very muscularly powerful, I might be working on some power testing metrics. If my team doesn't have very good functionality, so when I in the gym assess their squat patterns or I assess their bench press patterns, they might be And so we need to develop the skills, because when we're looking at martial arts as a whole, we have to make sure that whatever our strength stuff is, our gym programming or our actual performance programming, it needs to work alongside my MMA training, my martial arts training, okay? So if I'm learning new skills and I might be working on strength, getting my strength and flexibility up to snuff because we're off season. If I don't know what to work on, look at what the person's weakest at. So during their last competition season, what did they struggle the most at? Most coaches should know where each of their people are going and where their people are at. So that is that block. That is what we're doing. It's new skill development and strength and power testing. That is what we're doing because we're trying to build strength around joint for protection, and we're trying to build strength inability. If I can hit you harder, it makes my job easier. If I can resist you and choke you quicker and stronger, that's a good thing. Now, I don't care how you do that, but keep that in mind. That's what we're thinking about in this space. Pre-season is we're starting now to not worry about new skills. You should have learned all the things that I actually give a shit about for the upcoming competition season. But I need to now test them at sub-maximal and maximal capacity, meaning, can I choke you while you're trying to truly stop me? Now, I know how to do it, but can I now apply those things under the pressure of being on the 5-minute clock in a competition setting? So now we're looking at getting the fitness up. So if it's no good if I've got the skill set if I can't last 5 minutes on a round. And one of the things you'll see a lot in some of the higher end gyms is their big focus on physical health, particularly cardiovascular health. Because if I can do really high outputs for 10 minutes and I only need 5 in competition, then I'm going to probably perform very well. It's less likely that I'm going to lose the gas tank when I'm in that fight. So that's a very valuable skill to have. And because of that, in our gym setting, we're doing more higher intensity cardiovascular training. So if our client can only do 2 minutes of a round, then we're going to find their point that's relevant in the gym and try to build them up to be able to get them to do those 5-minute rounds. We need to get the fitness up to snuff. So more cardiovascular training in simple terms if you're a trainer. In the martial arts side of stuff, we're working on, can I apply the new skills to the fitness? I'm not learning anything new, so no new skills, but I am trying to get them fit enough under the pressure to be able to do stuff, to do the skill set we've just learned. Can I do the choke with resistance, okay? And in the gym setting, I'm trying to get their fitness up to the point that I need them in for on season. I have to get them above where I need them for the next rounds of competition. Now, when we look at on season, so this is competition. We are functionally going and we are training. We are doing all the things. We are at competition. We are doing our MMA fight. We are doing whatever. We've got 4 to 10 jiu-jitsu competitions in a 3-month period. In training, all you're doing is you're making sure a person is not getting injured in training so that they can go to competition. It's, for lack of a better word, I'm going to call it maintenance. So they're just maintaining the skill set as they compete in competition. And because of this, in our gym setting, in our performance setting, so if you're a PT or you're an exercise phys working with this group, our job is to make sure our client doesn't get injured. So we might be doing a lot more recovery stuff. We might be doing pressure point releasing. We might be doing stretching. We might be doing light, low intensity movements just to keep the body and the joints strong while they're going through this really high intensity on season. Our job is to make sure that from competition day to competition day, they can maintain this high level of fitness and skill. Reminder that they can't hold this forever. We can only stay at the peak of our performance for so long. So most of your training year will look like a big bell curve like this, where we have the 3 months of being as best as we possibly can, and the rest of it is building us up for it and bringing us out of it safely. In your recovery season, for the actual fighter, they've now done everything they've had to do. It's now about having some bloody fun and relaxing. Remember, these sports are because we love them. We do them because we love them. So we might work on some stuff that didn't go so well. We might have a muck around in the gym. We might let them do some coaching. Give them some time off. Let them chill. Let them be with their family. And we start looking at the plan for next season, what went well and what didn't. And they can do a self-analysis, or you as your coach should be doing an analysis with them. In the gym setting, I am recovering all the shit that has been injured. It's unlikely that they're going to come out of on season completely fresh. We either going to have to let their nervous system just chill out a little bit, or we're going to have to do some rehab on some tight muscles. We might have to work on some alleviation of pain. They could have been injured but pushed through anyway, as most of our fighters do. We're looking at trying to get them as recovered as possible so we can rinse and repeat. Once we know the new skills they need to work on, we do it all again. We look at off season where we get them new skills for the new round, and in the gym, we're trying to make them strong around the joint and in body. In the pre-season, we are now don't give a about their skills. We are trying to get their fitness up to snuff so they can compete without being worried about fatigue to any real extent. In on-season, we want them to win, and we're just making sure they don't get injured off-screen. We're not trying to win rounds in the gym. We want to win rounds in competition. And then the recovery season is all about letting the athlete have fun in their sport and assessing what went well and what didn't. And in the gym, as the personal trainer or the exercise physiologist, I'm looking at rehabbing the injuries, loosening any tight muscles, tightening any loose muscles, and making sure they're ready to go for the next season.